Hey guys, how are you? Andy, Sukhu, founder and CEO of Y2K Credit Solutions. So today I have a good topic to talk to you guys about, and I think this topic is asked a lot, especially in the collection practice of business. And the topic is re-aging of a debt. What is re-aging? What does it mean? How does it affect you? These are what we're going to discuss today, right? So re-aging. This is what happens. Most of the time, only a collection agency will try to do this, and it's a dirty trick. What they will do is try to change the date on the first delinquency of the debt to make it become more newer on the credit report, so it stays longer on your credit report, right? And most it's only collection agency that will do this. Of course, anyone can do it, but that's a dirty trick of the game in collection agencies. They try to change the dates. And just so you know, when it comes to an account derogatory, the statute of limitation starts from the first delinquent date from the original creditor. Okay, let me say that again. The statute of limitation, most statute of limitation for an account to stay on your credit report, whether it be the original creditor or the collection agency, is 7 years. And that 7 years does not start, again, let me say that 7 years does not start when the collection agency starts to service the debt. That's a big trick, and because a lot of these agencies try to change the date when they report it on the credit bureau. And I'll talk about how you're gonna fix that, right? So, again, the statute of limitation begins on when the account was first delinquent with the original creditor, all right? So from there, it takes 7 years for the original creditor to stay on your credit report, and same thing for the collection agency, but it does not start over when the collection agency starts to service the debt. Okay, so normally it's a debt collector that would do that. If I change a date, just so the debt can be more current on your credit report, 1, 2, and it can stay on your credit report longer, right? Now, how do you know? Oh, by the way, and for re-aging of a debt, the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Protection Bureau, the National Consumer Law Center, they all have the same definition of what re-aging a debt is. Okay, a lot of credit specialists or credit gurus try to change the terminology, and they fling the terminology around, make it sound a little more technical. It's not. It's the same definition. It only has one definition, and it's just changing the date of the delinquency of the debt. Right now, how do you know if the date was changed? Well, good question. So here's how you would know. And first, in order for you to know this, I talk about this all the time. You have to understand how to read a credit report. You have to understand what section in your credit report, what it means. You have to understand, like, the original creditor. You're gonna need to know what date the account was open, how many payments was made, when the first derogatory information or first derogatory stain hit the credit report, when it was the original creditor. So first thing is you have to understand how to read the credit report. Second thing is you need to keep a track of your credit report every month. And I noticed with you guys, and a lot of clients, you guys don't like to subscribe to a subscription where you get your credit report every month. We have Score Navigator. We highly recommend you sign up for that so you can have a track of your report. So if you need to go back and check something 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, you're able to go ahead and see what was reporting from before, what's reporting after. Okay, that's very important, guys, because if you don't know the history of it, of the report and the history of the account, and when I say the history, I mean the original creditor and the collection agency, depending on that account, the status of the account, and what happened to that account if it went derogatory. And you should also notice for positive accounts too, right? Because there is mistakes on the credit report, guys. I'm telling you, there is mistakes, and it's a lot of it is people that work in the credit bureau's error, because it's a human person typing in this information, right? So errors are bound to happen. Sometimes I even type fast, and I make an error on putting in a phone number, a social. But then numerically it's in my head, so I go back and check it, right? So mistakes can happen, right? Even when they're reporting an account on the credit bureau, the collection account, the person has input that information, they could make an error and accidentally put the wrong date in, and all of a sudden, voila, you have a collection that's showing it's now delinquent from current, not from when it first was derogatory with the original creditor. So errors do happen. This is why it's important for you guys to make sure you understand how to read the credit report from the get-go. And this is from all three bureaus, because remember, all three bureaus have different information, guys. Don't ever forget that. All three credit bureaus, they report different data. They don't speak to each other. They're three private, separate companies, right? So how do you know? Let's get back to that question, which is a good question to want to ask me. One, you need to know how to read the credit reports, read the original credit reports. You need to know each account on your credit report. You need to know the data. You need to know what each fields mean, right? And this is only going to be better for you guys. It's only going to help you in your journey to having good credit, maintaining your credit, okay? Second thing is, now let's say you have an account on your credit report and, all of a sudden it showed up on your credit report. Now you can go look at a current report, look at the data that the collection agency is reporting, go back and look at this, the original report from 4 months ago, look what the original creditor has, and then you can backtrack it and see, okay, well, this first delinquent was 6 years ago or 5 years ago. In all honesty, if the delinquent if the statute of limitation is about to expire in like 2 months, why would you set it? Why would you pay it? Statute of limitation is about to expire on this account. But you have to keep notes. You have to be very detailed with it. You have to know the reports. And this is where our Score Navigator, the product that we're bringing out in July 1st, where you can do it yourself credit, and you can also monitor your credit, and it has credit coaching, the credit monitoring, and the do-it-yourself all in one program. This is going to allow you to do it because we already have pre-filled documents in there that can address this issue if this happens to you, right? Re-aging it's not used heavily. I mean, as long as I've been in this industry, I've probably seen it maybe a dozen times happening, and it's majority of the time it's done by error, right? But obviously, if a collection agency does do that, they get into a lot of trouble for that, right? But they can only get into a lot of trouble if you're able to prove it. And this is where it comes into paper trail. One thing I need to tell you guys about this whole credit restoration thing and our new program that's coming out, the do-it-yourself program merged with our Score Navigator, they go hand in hand first off, right? The credit monitoring with the credit restoration part of it go hand in hand because it ties in. They're pulling data from each other, right? The second part of it is the coaching. So you need to understand the coaching, because we're always talking about it's not always about the score. To be honest with you, more so now as we move into the future, it's not about the score, it's about the data that's on your credit report and the quality of data and your habits, your spending habits, your payment habits. Those are the things that's calculating your scores now. And in our Score Navigator program, it's teaching you all that, how to manage your spending, how to understand it, how to see where you're spending too much, you're overpaying, you're paying too much high interest, you need to get a better rate on this car loan, how long is it going to take you to pay this loan off with this interest. It's so interactive. But getting back to re-aging, it all ties into this program that we're bringing out for you guys. But I just wanted to educate you guys on the word re-aging, what it means, and what it does if someone changes the date on an account from the first delinquency. Now, I hope this video was a little helpful in discussing re-aging. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and I'm going to try to answer it for you. If not, look out July 1st, our Score Navigator do-it-yourself program is coming out. But again, one last thing, takeaway. The one takeaway I want you guys to have is documentation. And the more you have documentation, you have it compartmentalized in one area, better for your case. That's a credit hack. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Good luck.